What's going on, guys? Got a good day for this test. We're gonna try out these new tires I just put on this 2024 Ram Limited 1500. Bumped up the size a little bit on the factory wheel. As you guys know, if you're watching my videos, I switch trucks very often. I got a lot of great comments on the Durmax, a lot of bad comments on the Durmax Ultimate, Denali Ultimate. You guys know, or should know at this point, I am truthfully unbiased. I really am not Ford versus Chevy guy. I have some guys that have written, hey, you're not a truck guy. Okay, well, I've had them all, so I think I'm allowed to be a little bit nitpicky. But if you don't like these kind of videos, that's okay. There's plenty of other channels to watch, so hopefully you enjoy this video. We're in the snow today. We don't get snow that often down here in Tennessee, but in Greenback, we've got some about 8 inches out here, give or take. It's frosty, icy, and this is the new tire I put on this truck. Didn't lift it, didn't do anything like that. I do have the 4-corner air suspension that's standard in the Limited. We're gonna kind of show that off today in some extreme temperatures. It's about 16 to 20-ish degrees outside. It is not warm. So bear with me on the videos. I'm gonna get the GoPros out. We'll do some cool videos, check them out, and hopefully you guys enjoy the video. If you have any questions, comments, throw them down there. Happy to answer them. Appreciate everything, appreciate the comments, appreciate the likes. You guys have a great day. Here we go. All right, just started. We're gonna warm it up. Don't mind the light flicker, that's just the refresh rate, not actually flickering. So we just put these on. This is the factory 22-inch wheel. Really hard to see, as you can see, with all the snow. I would clean this thing off 3 times last night. But this is the Open Countries. You can see these are the ATs, these are the 3s. And these guys right here have the snowflake rating on them, so they are a little bit softer for the snow. The ride quality on these things, I've had a few people drive this truck and say, wow, I cannot believe this tire is on here. 305 45 R22s, okay? This is what we got right here. Great tread on them. Good pattern. I have had the Needle Ridge grapplers. I've seen the videos on that. I was gonna do those. My big concern was just noise over time. I know I've had the Needle Ridge grapplers on a Ford King Ranch I had, and they got a little bit loud after about 15, 20,000 miles. Now, I don't normally keep trucks that long, so it probably wouldn't have mattered, but these on the forums are rated very highly, and the 305s, they look really good on this truck. I mean, they definitely, the grandpa tires that were on here, I couldn't deal with them. The factory ones, you know, they're just road going, you know, fuel economy smooth, which I get, and they do ride great, but to be honest with you, I've had these things at 85, no problem. Nice and smooth, the truck rides amazing. You gotta really be listening hard with, you know, at 85 miles an hour with all the audio off to try to find the sound. It is very, very, very good. And I am very critical, as you guys know, about ride quality and things like that. So it's one of the reasons I got rid of the Ultimate. Not the only reason, but one of them. We'll go over the Ram once I get it cleaned off. And as far as how these tires work, I'm gonna just kind of combine this in the first video here. So, truck sounds great, Hemi sounds great. Obviously, it's not the TRX. If you guys haven't seen that video, I've had multiple trucks. Everybody's like, why don't you keep the TRX? Are you crazy? Well, I did love it, but I do drive 40 to 45 minutes, sometimes longer, depending on traffic. And I just, every 3 days, I was putting gas in it. And maybe I'm getting older. I don't use the horsepower quite as much. I still love power. Who doesn't? That truck was amazing, and definitely my #1 if you guys ever wanted to know. And I think it would be for most people. It's a 700 horsepower supercharged Hemi. It's really hard not to love that truck. So we're gonna defrost this thing down. I'll get a video with it all cleaned up. We'll go through the options on it that I like, and you know, some of the things I don't like too. I mean, there's a short list here, but we'll check it out and see what you think. All right. What a day to pick to do a review, huh? So the OEM tires, which I don't like on a lot of trucks in general anyways, are not very great. These Open Country ATs right here. These are the 3s. See it barely down there, sorry. 305, 45, 22s on the factory wheel with the air suspension. I have not had any rubbing. You can even see the snow back there. Nothing's rubbed on it. I know some people rub in the corner over there, but I don't know if it's because this is a 24 and the fender well is just maybe slightly different. I have no idea. Even in the lower ride heights, I've had it narrow mode. This is in normal mode right here. And then obviously it goes up into lift mode for off-road. But there's plenty. And I will run it with arrow sometimes, like on the back roads. It's fun to lower it down and lower that center of gravity and get some handling out of it. And it does really does a good job. I mean, I love the 5-link suspension here in the back. We've got a live axle. You can see the airbags there. So we did the 5.7 e-torque Hemi Limited. Probably will end up doing the twin turbo Hurricane motor. I think that might be the perfect storm. My biggest challenge has been, I love the TRX, but I do drive. I'm on a 40 to 45 minute commute. So like I said earlier, and I drive in between, right? So just like every other dad, I've got baseball, softball, whatever, everything always going on. So the TRX is amazing. It rides amazing. It is the best truck. But I will tell you this, as far as comfort goes, is fantastic. Right there, of course, with the Platinum. I had the Platinum F150 Lightning as well with independent suspension in the rear. I've had a couple of you guys comment on that. There's a video on it. It's in the link below. I'll put it in the description so you can see it. But as you can see, these tires on there just make the truck look so much better. They're working great in the snow. They ride amazing. They're quiet. I can't get over it. It's an absolutely great tire. If you guys are questioning what tire to do without modifying, then this is the one. I have heard on some of the forums that they do slightly rub, like I was saying on the back here, but I have no issues at all. So, and this is a 24. It may make a difference if you're looking at a 2021. I don't know, but you could certainly use a heat gun and fold it back if you had to. So. Power steps, which are very dirty right now. But guys, look at the fit and finish. Look at the leather here. They do such a good job. It smells incredible in here. That new leather smell. They do a synthetic on the dash, which is funny because I think you guys with the Rams in 2019, 2021, maybe even 22, you guys have to tell me. This is definitely synthetic now, but it's soft. I know Lexus, and we do it on the Porsches on some parts of the leather as well, the parts that would like normally get hot and peel back, right? I've seen that a lot. In fact, one of my good buddies, he's probably watching this video, has a 2500 2019 with a Cummins in it, and his dash with all the sun down here in the south was peeling back here, which I think he got fixed under warranty, but still, that's something that, yes, I understand you guys are talking trucks. If you're looking in this price range specifically, you know, the comfort of this seat is very, very good. I think it's right there with the Ford. I love, you can see the stitching on it, the piping, the stitching on the center console. The whole setup of this is kind of cool. You get the two phone chargers here, and then underneath here you get storage. And you can actually slide this whole thing, which I think is really cool. So you can move this all around, open this up. So even though I'm not a huge fan of the dial, and yes, you can cancel start stop on the e-torque, by the way, which I do every time. Having the dial up there does make it so you got a little more space there, but you know, it didn't bother me in the Ram TRX, which was right there in the middle. I do like having the shifter there. So as you can see, I use it. This truck's new, and this is where we are, right? We're out here in the woods. We've got that acreage up there. You can see the skid steer in the background. There's a diesel tank in the back that I load up. So I use it as a truck. You can see it back there. So my son loves this seat. I think it's one of the best consoles back here. It doesn't have the little dinky one that comes out of the seat. It's got a real console. Not that we need heated and cooled rear seats, but it's got it. And they have a recline mode right here, which if you pull this, you can recline it back, which I think is kind of cool on a long trip. So once again, I'm not bragging on Ram just because I'm a Ram guy. I'm bragging on Ram because they've done a great job. A lot of people have shot me some messages that are like, oh yeah, Ram guy, good luck with reliability and all that. Listen, the older trucks, I don't disagree with you. I know I've had a lot of friends that had the older things, but when they came out with this newer one, I mean, the Hemi's been around a while now. I'm not saying they're perfect, but I've had plenty of Fords and GMs with plenty of issues too, and they've all been newer trucks, so it's not like any of them are perfect. I think the ride quality and I think the fit and finish in this one is really, really bar none. It's really well done. I loved it. The TRX2, it was very similar, obviously, with just a few minor things like the wood wasn't there. This one has a ton of ambient lighting. It's in the pockets. It's down here on the floor. It's up here on this trim. And it's just everywhere. I love the lights up there. They got little LEDs that run. There's some up in the top. You can read the writing legibly, so you know exactly what you're doing as far as opening the sunroof. It's not like you're just reaching. And the digital cockpit on the new, those started in 23 and 24, is very, very nice. You have a lot of options there. Uconnect 5 is okay. There's a 6 coming out in the new 2025s. A lot of guys are like, why didn't you get a 25? And that's because the discounts on the 24s are pretty substantial. They're really hard to argue with. Got a really good deal on this thing. My last video, you guys saw the Denali Ultimate, which was a 22, and I traded it almost break even. And that does say something for, hey, GM's resale. That Denali Ultimate was great. I'm not dogging it. There's just certain features that I get used to, that I like, that I want to have in a truck. You know, the reclining on an $80,000 truck, think about it, right? Reclining rear seats, is that a big deal to some people? Probably not. Ambient lighting, that's a huge deal to me. You can see it down in the floor wells there. That GM truck was completely freaking dark inside of it, and that's frustrating when you get kids and they're reaching around. You gotta turn the light on every time. Ambient lighting's a nice thing. Yeah, it's a luxury truck. It should have things like this. There's lighting in every door handle, every pocket. So they really took their time. You gotta applaud them for that. Love or hate. Now the GM styling is still my favorite. I always joked around if they could put the Denali grill on the front of this, but I will tell you that this with the night package, it's a good looking ride. All the black trim on it, got the black tow hooks. And there's a lot of guys that will do a level kit. It's not hard to do. You can put a spacer in it and drop the airbag system down, and then you can put these links in that will actually raise it up. So there's a lot of flexibility with the air suspension option. And the ride quality is really just amazing. That's what I love about it. This thing drives down the road like it's a large SUV, basically. Very comfortable, very smooth, and I just love it. It's a great daily truck. I think the 8-speed ZF German transmission, it's a tough one to beat. They put it in Hellcats, and those things have plenty of horsepower. I know there's different types of ZF transmissions, but I love the smoothness of it. You don't feel the shifts. The 10-speed in the GM was great as well. Obviously, had a couple extra gears in there. Cylinder deactivation, I never feel it in this truck, but you can deactivate it by putting it in the manual gear shift mode. And of course, we've got things like adaptive cruise and all that. So what does the GM have that this doesn't have? It does have the Super Cruise, which I did try, and it works amazing. Ford has the Blue Cruise on their Platinums. That one, to me, needs a little refinement, but it still worked. We now have, of course, in the newer Rams, this is going to be, I think, 22 and up, correct me if I'm wrong. You do have heads-up display, which was an option. Now you get the rear camera set up. I don't have a multi-tailgate bed. I have a regular bed back here, but I love how light this aluminum tailgate is. And honestly, I don't mind jumping up into the bed. That's not a big deal to me. This isn't my favorite soft tonneau cover, but it came with the factory one with the bed liner, so, you know, it is what it is. Of course, we have bed lights. All right, well, now that we're in the truck, let's show you the gauges here. They're very cool. They did a good job with them. There's actually some kind of lighting behind it, too. It gives it like a three-dimensional look. So this would be like your standard gauge here. I've shut the traction and stability control off because I'm in the snow and I'm playing around today, but you can see it's 22 degrees out. It is not a warm day by any means. We're going to jump down. Adaptive cruise would be on. So if I had the lane sense on, I would see it up here just like you do in the GM as well, and in the new Fords as well with the heads up. So you do have that on there. I do love the assortment of gauges. This is something where you've got kind of your standard gauges on that GM truck I'm talking about specifically. Ford and Ram do a good job of giving you all these gauges. I mean, even oil pressure, oil temp, oil life, all the way down to, let's see, the transmission temps on here, coolant temp. It shows me averaging about 14. I have been absolutely hammering on this thing the past probably 100 miles. So let's call that way worst case scenario. I would say when I was driving at normal, there's the air suspension. I was averaging realistically with the start stop. I mean, I always turn it off, but I might drive it in the arrow more, and that arrow lowers the ride height all the way down. So right now I'm not on a road, I'm in my driveway, but it's nice to have the map right up there as well, which is something also unique. And then down here we got our trailer brake. This is my air suspension modes. Let's lift it up. Let's go all the way up with it so you guys can see what it looks like in full height mode. I did love my AT4. You guys that commented on the AT4s, it's a great truck. I mean, for realistically, I think I was into that thing for maybe 65-ish new. And it was loaded up, it had heads up and all this stuff too. The synthetic leather that I didn't love, the AT4X does have real leather on the seats, and the AT4X gives you lockers and different dampening, which is nice as well. So I'm not comparing that to this. This is a more of the Denali style truck, obviously in the limited format. Ram does obviously make the Rebel as well, which I have not driven personally. So here we go. This is the high mode, which I think is pretty good there. Plenty of ground clearance.